you just introduce yourself. Go on ahead.
Hey, I'm Jennifer from Much Music, the new music in Toronto, Canada, yeah.
Yeah? What are you doing over here?
Well, Steve and I on camera, who's like staring at us right now, we came to check out the scene, the music scene in Belfast.
How do people in Canada hear about Belfast?
Well, I think I should give a plug for therapy.
Don't be expecting a sprawling metropolis. It is a very, very small city.
But don't be expecting hit the deck.
Yeah, just go out and have a good time and just talk to people, you know. You'll find the scene easy enough.
Fully understood your true motives.
People always go, well, you're from Ireland. I mean, like, why is there no fiddles? Why is it diddly diddly top of the morning tea and all that? But the thing is, whenever I was 14, I was listening to Black Flag records. That's the kind of music I was buying. And I think there's an awful lot of people. It tends to happen in every country. It probably happens in Canada. It happens in America, where people patronise your culture on the superficialities of it. You know what I mean? So people presume, like, oh, I'm going to go to Canada. It's going to be all moose and antlers and mounties, which is absolute nonsense. Well, where are they now? It's the same whenever you go to Belfast. People think it's going to be bombs, barbed wire, Guinness, and shamrocks and shenanigans. And they get there, and it's just really, it's a very, very small city, you know, which is very peaceful and full of very friendly people.
We're going to a party, okay? You're my best friend and I love you.
Oh, since when?
Since ever.
Check out this Bon Jovi, right? They're real good and they're going to be real big. Led Zeppelin 2.
Yes.
This guy likes them also.
If you try to find a place, oh, you're happy, smiling face. If you feel that there's no disgrace, turn up the color on the human race. Oh, yeah.
Does the music cross all borders?
Yeah. There's a lot of bands that actually have like a lot of Protestant Catholics in it, you know, sort of, you know, if they're mixed, they don't really deal with the, you know, the religion of it all, like, you know.
You do have your idiots and your extremists who try and cause trouble for everyone, but when it comes down to it, it's not really like that, especially in places like this.
She did not know where she was about the time she woke up. Left to lust, she did not know what she'd done, yeah, to be so harshly judged. But don't tell me about it, I'm just writing it down. I know she won't show when the time comes around. Don't tell me.
It's not like it was maybe 50, 60 years ago where it was like so divided, or from what I wasn't around 50, 60 years ago, but what I'm told. And now people, I mean younger people are especially, they're going to clubs and going to see bands, are not even thinking about such things, you know. And I think that's what's particularly good about the music scene here. It is totally detached from anything that may be going on politically, you know. People don't care.
That you're used to it, so you don't notice it after a while. So it obviously wouldn't affect you because you don't notice it in the first place.
Steve. Hi, Steve. That's cool.
How you doing? Stephen?
does have an influence. Like, I mean, where we're living does have an influence. Like, can't take that away from us, no that way. It'll always be there. Do you know what I mean? But what it is, we don't know.
Whether anybody wants to take that risk and taking somebody on from where we live, you know, because it is put down. And just because you're from a certain road or a certain place, it doesn't mean you can't play good music.
The Chinese restaurant that we believe is open on Great Victoria Street. Okay? All the best. Cheers.
Send the rope out there, Bart.
Bloody Sunday is widely seen as the event that trapped Northern Ireland in violence for 2 decades. 20 years ago, the nationalist Bogside in Londonderry was a no-go area for the security forces. A battalion of paratroopers was brought in from Belfast with orders to arrest any rioters during a civil rights march which the government had banned. Its route to the city centre was blocked and rioting began. The IRA had said it wouldn't interfere in the march, but a single shot fired at troops from the Bogside confirmed the army's suspicions. Minutes later, soldiers went in. There was chaos.
50 miles up the road from where I live, and a lot of people criticised us for making a record like War, and especially the song Sunday Bloody Sunday. They said, how can we write a song about Derry or the north of Ireland when we live in the south of Ireland? After all, the bombs don't go off in Dublin. And I've explained to people that if the bombs don't go off in Dublin, they're certainly made there. And as an Irishman, I feel I have a right to speak out about what's going on.
I tell you what, big pet hate is artists who live nowhere near Northern Ireland, claim some sort of roots to Northern Ireland, and would then claim to know, how do you say this, claim that they can make a point of view.
So are you referring to U2's Sunday Bloody Sunday?
Well, that's one. But that's a Belfast shipyard where they shot a video, and they had a #1 hit with it. And they just f***ing made money out of the Northern Ireland situation, and I don't give a shite what anybody else says.
and with the Citizens Charter in my breast pocket, I demand my undeniable God-given right to complain. 'Cause I believe, I said I believe in the power of Marks and Spencer.
Previously we've seen sort of like other peace groups stagnate. The reason why I thought this was so valuable and Pete thought it was so valuable was that it was a new initiative through the medium of music, which knows no barriers basically.
On the left, this is a crossroads, and the left is Catholic, West Belfast, and on the right is it's Protestant. I mean, it's a very small place, this, but the boundaries are they're very clear cut, but they're absolutely invisible to you if you don't know to outside. Those windows there at bomb-proof, they're incredibly expensive, right? Those windows there aren't bomb-proof. So you see what happens?
They get bombed.
They get bombed.
Watching TV till late tonight. Since the bulbs were gone, it was by candlelight. The room was dark, the moon turned black. The rain fell up and the wind blew back. Every 10 seconds, flashing on the screen were the bloody banners of the American war machine. I was speechless. If you think about the situation here, the troubles here too much, you tend to think that it is the centre of the world, and it is very important. But I mean, if you go out to places like Eastern Europe or other parts of Europe or wherever, and you see that, I mean, for instance, today, I mean, what happens here is nothing to what happens in Bosnia or somewhere like that. I mean, that's infinitely more complicated and more aggressive. And I think it just gives you a bit of perspective on it, really.
Now we're going through a checkpoint here.
I don't
How does
think.
this make you feel?
That's just pretty normal fact of life. These guys will ask me who I am and where I'm going potentially, or just wave me on, and they're looking for people causing trouble. So I don't know if we could actually film with this.
They don't stop people with long hair.
It has been known. I think there's a number of different items. There's long hair and 4 o'clock in the morning. And those added together make them a bit like, they'll give me a bit reasonable hard time because I'm out and about at wee small hours, and they probably think that I look like I'm up to no good.
It won't end quickly because there's too many people making too much money, and that's basically all there is to it. It's just like an entire mafia thing, only it's covered with this veil of religion.
I'm afraid on that note.
Cover the kneecap. Got it.
You become so used to it. If you're out for a night, you're walking down the bar. We were walking down the other night, remember the York? We were walking down and it was all like cordoned off, and the taxi driver was saying, oh, there's 4 people shot in there, and you just had a couple of cans and you're just so used to it from a kid, just going, oh, really?
It just means an extra couple of minutes in the taxi because you had to go round and avoid that area, and that's what it boils down to.
It is cruel, but
it's more hassle, really.
Yeah, it's just irritating.
Same with the bombs, or being kicked out of a pub because there's bomb scares, and it's just great, lush.
Hassle rather than being horrified.
Is this a checkpoint on the run?
Yep, it's moving. And what they'll eventually end up probably doing is jumping out of it at any point and stopping the traffic and having a few rechecks. So they have to keep moving. I mean, obviously they're going to have to keep moving if there was potentially anyone who didn't like what they were doing or where they were and wanted to do something about it. They'd have to maybe 15 minutes later not be there anymore. You know?
To me, the Protestant and Catholic thing has nothing to do with religion itself. It's just sectarian. I think it's our form of racism. The very few, have you noticed how few immigrants and people from different countries there are here? I know black guys, or whether few Asians. I think there's, so the racism here comes out in a religious kind of racism.
Right, this is a new Belfast folk song I wrote for all of us. It's called Religious Persuasion. Protestant or Catholic, cried a voice from the crowd. Not you again, St. Peter, I was thinking out loud. Should have packed my bags, headed off for the coast. Had my time already come to meet the heavenly host.
If you're living in Rothbury, as I say, it's a massive estate, as you can see. There's no way you go out and meet anybody else. It's very polarised, you know, and people grow up with that attitude. You would be surprised how many people would actually have never been out of this estate, except for maybe just into the centre of Belfast shopping. But apart from that, they wouldn't go out and socialise or anything, you know, that way. But we're playing in the band, we were out playing gigs, and it didn't appeal to us, you know. But there was a lot happened before that when we were kids, like, because I didn't actually grow up here. I grew up in the Shankill Road, but I moved down here after being burned out of my house in the, you know, in the Shankill. It isn't a thing about a united Ireland and a, you know, wanting to be British. What it basically is religion between Catholics and Protestants. And housing estates like this it is, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking to people, they don't say anything about how we want to be British. It's just that they were brought up to hate Catholics, and the Catholics were brought up to hate Protestants. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But the politicians will tell you a different story. They will say it's not a religious war. It is a religious war. In housing estates like that it is, and that's where it comes from. You know what I'm saying?
Put on that uniform and sing another freedom fighter song, and you're marching on and on, but no one is believing a word of you. They breathe, take away the colors, you're all just the same. No one is believing a word of you. Be breathing, don't you say in my name.
You only see what is on the surface. I can't take you into these people's houses and let you talk to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you'll find that most of them, a lot of them don't really care anymore about things like religion or whatever. They just want to get on with their lives, and I think they've been just fed up with what's been going on. Obviously, you'll get a lot of people, as you see, with their Ulster flags and stuff out. That's fair enough, you know. You get it on both sides.
Well, I'd like to be a trendy millionaire and wear funny clothes and a color in my hair. Oh, I wouldn't give a damn if people stop and stare, no. 'Cause I would be a trendy, silly millionaire.
What do you think of the music?
Marvellous. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm prejudiced, but I think it's good.
Have they
It's
given-
all their own stuff, you know, and you know, especially in this day and age, you know, it's good for them
Never
to...
misses a gig.
And no, I enjoy them all.
When I was younger, like, when we were younger, didn't know many Protestants. When I started playing music, like, you get to know more and more all the time. And
Right,
just,
right.
like, they're just...
That never comes
They're
up.
like,
No,
they're
man,
just like
that comes
us, you know what I mean? But, like, people... Like, there's other people I know who don't really hate Protestants and all, like,
But I mean,
they're no
that's
different, like, from us.
silliness, like, that's just sort of judging them straight away when they
It's
shoot
just
them
because they
judge.
haven't met any,
You
that's
know,
all. Like, once you meet them, like, you know, they're in the same boat. Well, most of them's in the same boat as
If
you.
you don't meet them, you think they're sort of like, they're not human. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it's portrayed. On both sides, you know, that way. But I mean, when you meet each other, you just find out, like, you just aren't now making Joe, you know, that way. You know, whatever.
The whole band's completely split down the middle, religion-wise. I mean, well, by birth, none of us are very religious, but there's a Catholic and Protestant, one of us is from a mixed marriage, so we are split down the middle. And we could not give a monkeys about, you know, religion or anything back home, or about, we don't like the violence happening, but it's also part of an escape. You know, because that's going around in your head every day, and whenever we sing about it, the last thing we want to sing about is the stuff that troubles us, the other waking hours that we have.
Paramount praise for the explosion. Till a bullet pierced our leader, and we gave up the fight. They shot him and killed him jail. They'll never stop this crime. My name is James Conley. I didn't come here to die, but to fight for the rights of the working man. A small bomb or two, the techno-proletariat, but the bosses and their screws. Hold on to your rifles, boy. Don't give it to me.
Are you able to be more political because you live outside of Ireland?
Absolutely, because I mean, the censorship that exists in Ireland doesn't exist anywhere near to the extent in the United States, and I assume Canada too.
But I grew up before my time. So many answers still made at me. Always to look but never find. I opened up eyes so I could see.
We're one of very few bands who will actually sit and say that, yes, we do write songs about Northern Ireland, because, again, we could turn around and say to you now that it's been that's cost us not to get a record deal yet, because people are scared to deal with it. But that is why it exists. That's why it's been going on for so long, because people are scared to talk about it.
If you come from Northern Ireland and you go to a British record label and you want to sing about Northern Ireland and you're from Northern Ireland, oh no, I don't think we'll have any listening to that.
Four individuals, obviously, we've all been involved in trouble at some stage of our lives. Because I mean, you got to remember that whenever the trouble started, Northern Ireland, we were all like only about 11 years old. So like you grow up all through your teenage life, well, so that sort of thing going on around you. But by the time you're about 14 or 15, 16, it's like a game. You know, go down and throw bottles at people. That's just write about what you know. And that's what we did. We wrote about things that were happening around us, things that were happening to people around us. And that's what we still do now.
Were you taking sides, or was it more an observer's point of view?
Just observing, that was all. We never took sides. Couldn't anyway.
The context is all mixed.
Yeah. So you couldn't take sides.
What we're trying to do is create an awareness of what's happening in the north of Ireland.
That was one of the reasons for the inception of this group, that deliberate calling ourselves that petrol emotion, that petrol isn't petrol bombs and frustration and anger against the way that society's run there.
Any writer with any dignity will write about what has happened to them, as their personal feelings, their personal experiences and whatever, and what they see around them. So I can't see how anybody from Belfast that's lived in the places that we have anyway, I can't see how they could turn around and say that they couldn't write about it, that they don't want nothing to do with it, because, you know, that is the sheer reason why it goes on, and it has been going on for years because of that attitude.
Now here comes a policeman, so maybe I'm going to point it straight at him. And we're going to stop. Thanks. Brilliant. What, did you bring some kind of special pass with you or something?
Throw your info.
Getting some numbers.
Sadness all his life. Who's the question? What is right? I thought you said truth I knew that it would turn in his grave. His grave. His grave.
There's loads and loads of bands in Belfast who could make each other amazing, but they're all competing. Like there's only one place for them all, and
Is that here?
No, they're all competing. Like there's only one job in the record industry.
As far as people in Northern Ireland are concerned, Therapy are the new U2, the new Metallica, or whatever.
Things thrown at us, which has annoyed us a hell of a lot because we're nothing like Therapy, which I hope you will agree with.
A demo review, Buzzkill.
Where's your art gallery?
What?
The art gallery or?
Art Council. Is that over there, is it?
Yeah.
There it is up there. So go straight ahead.
On the left.
Just on the left here.
Right here.
Art Council Gallery.
The thing about like Therapy, they did it all on their own. They went and toured England, which they had to do because nobody takes any interest, and they basically did it on their own, and that's what bands really have to do coming out of Belfast.
If they've got a band on their doorstep, they're not going to travel to Belfast to sign anybody from here and stuff because it's very sort of London-based, London-orientated, and if you're not part of that scene, you don't stand a chance really, unless you actually take it to them, There are, now maybe a couple of small independent labels in Belfast, namely Wall Creeper. The only other labels you would be able to go for would be in Southern Ireland, around Dublin, like Mother or something. And they're not really sort of what I don't think they'd be interested in is to begin with. They're looking basically for another U2.
Yeah, they're just looking for safe bands in this Irish rock market,
Hey,
it's ridiculous.
Celtic rock.
Yeah, Celtic rock. It doesn't make you sick. It's ridiculous. So, and people don't even want to change. They're just happy with what they've got and be labelled this crap, mediocre, middle-of-the-road rock music. That's
all right. This joint is jumping. That's Lavery's. See that, Jen?
Yeah, we have to head there.
There's a very cultural landmark there, McDonald's on the right. There's Lavery's. Lavery's, have you been there? That's where everybody drinks. It's good though. I spent most of my youth in there.
Being from Belfast, it tends to be a lot harder to promote the bands coming from here, especially for mainland, England, Scotland, Wales, etc. They tend to frown upon this place, with Therapy success. They tend to prick up their ears, but they're only after the new Therapy, but we've got a lot more to offer than just Therapy.
The highest local record in the local chart at the moment, the new chart comes out tonight, so it may reach #1. It's the current #3 from May McFetridge and the Media Men. Therapy, eat your heart out.
How do you describe the scene right now?
I think it's very healthy. It's the best it's been since, the punk days of the Undertones, Stiff Little Fingers, people like that. The one thing we do have now is the diversity. There's a far bigger variation of music to suit all kinds of tastes. So, the record companies have no excuses for ignoring us, basically.
See that guy there?
Yeah.
That guy there with the wacky haircut that's just come from Good Vibrations, and he was probably just buying records from Good Vibrations, the punk label that still exists.
Good Vibrations, the most famous record shop in Ireland.
I'd always been involved in the music scene here as a DJ. And when I grew up in the 60s, there was a lot of bands, a lot of really great bands. And probably them became the most famous with Van Morrison. There are a lot of other great bands who didn't get a chance to record. And then when the punk thing came along, and it was just like reliving my youth, and I got so excited about it, I thought this time that we will make a documentary of what's happening in Belfast. We'll start recording bands. My idea was never really to start up a record label, was to put out wee flip-flop records that we could give away to English record companies to let them know that there was a music scene here. And then there wasn't much difference between the free flip-flop records to record and press and a real record, so we just decided to put out real records.
You'll find most artists or video directors or anyone involved in the music business will travel further afield because they think this is too small. It is too small at the moment, but we want to put that right. We want to get everybody working here so as people will come and take notice of us instead of us having to go and produce our wares elsewhere.
See, I can't believe you're getting away with it, because it looks, to me, that would look suspiciously like a gun. But, fine. Nice smile. Ah, now we're away, we've done it again.
Life Under Giants, well, we're sort of under them right now. Explain what we're looking at.
Basically, these are two of the biggest cranes in the world, I think. And one of them, there was originally just one. It was built, like, I think it was around the late 60s, early 70s. And then they must have decided it was a really good thing to do, so they built another one. And they're called after biblical characters. One of them's called Samson and one of them's called Goliath. Believe it or not, this is where the Titanic was built all that time ago at the turn of the century. And not many people know this, but my grandfather actually helped build it. That was not the reason why it sank. It was an iceberg. We actually have to start the engine with a little wire. Oh, I will show you. Put the key in the ignition, and then start this like here. That's it. There you go.
Oh, there's Ghost from regular man. Hey yo, the collective, at last.
What exactly is the Belfast Gig Collective?
We promote concerts in Belfast for touring European, American bands. Put them on in different venues in Belfast at cheap, reasonable prices.
People have money to spend on bands?
Well, I mean, there isn't that many shows that there would be compared to Britain, and I think people make the effort to come out when there is something on. You know, there's lots of people unemployed, you know, so it is a problem for people to pay, but there isn't that many concerts, so luckily people do come out, you know.
Don't leave me alone! Don't touch me! The jazz and now goes in his mind. Spicy version of social supply. Many a dream in the need to my life. That voice I try to pop through fear.
We haven't been here for 3 years, and we've been to Manchester once every 6 months, sort of thing. It takes a bit more hassle and money to get over here, but when you do, it's worth it, because they get fewer gigs over here, so they're more appreciative and people just go out to see what's happening.
One of the encouraging things about the Belfast dance scene is that for people putting aside the differences, you know, to be involved in it, you know, they weren't, you know, checking what religion you were before you going in, you know, there was a sense of unity about it, which is quite encouraging.
I think if you stay away from it as a band, if you stay away from places like that, you only builds up more animosity at the end of the day. You've got to be there, and you've got to be trying to, you know, help these people because they do want change.
In my heart is a rainbow glowing. In my head is a moon so bright. In my sky is a star that's snowing. Summer's coming out tonight.
All we know about Belfast is it's one of our best audiences for enthusiasm and you know, manic reaction.
In a lot of respects, it's just like everywhere else in the world, you know, by making out that it's any different, we're kind of perpetuating the problems there, I think. You know, they're just people like anywhere else.
When you get a strike going on, you get a sort of, people need to create something to make it like the antithesis of that stripe, to like build up something that reflects that it's not all that bad, you know what I mean? We're doing something about it and getting our own heads together and working out the alternative angle to all this, you know, weird stuff.
Right, this is our building. It's in the centre of Belfast. We've been here about 2 years. Since we've been working steadily at doing a lot of refurbishment work and fixing it up so it's usable. We have the band room, which we have about 30 bands using the place, and it gets in a real mess, usually. Right, this is the main entrance. This is where the rest of the stuff happens. In here, we have a very dark, half-built recording studio, which should be finished in a couple of months. Office is in here. All the admin and stuff goes on. It's the nerve center of what happens in the building. In here, we have a print room. We can print stuff like posters for bands, T-shirts. We've got a darkroom in there for a lot of young photographers use it to do their own black and white photography. We can also do things like promo photos for bands, that sort of thing. Okay, we're on the top floor now. In here, this is being used as an exhibition space at the minute. It's for young artists from Belfast who don't get a chance to exhibit in most commercial large venues. They do the stuff here. They usually run for about a week.
Is there an equal balance of Protestants and Catholics?
Yeah, people come from all over town to use the place. And we do actively try and break down barriers in that respect. And we're positively anti-sectarian.
This is totally a police one. There's no army guys. There we go. Thanks. The old finger up, did you see that?
Yeah, is that all you can...
That is brilliant. I mean, when that finger goes up, at least sail through, get the finger going.
Got the finger.
It's the magic. And now we're going to observe the very fast putting on of the seatbelt because there's a checkpoint ahead. Nice smile. Oh, no.
I was asked to call you. I'm with a television station called Much Music and City TV.
We drove through the checkpoints and we thought we hadn't spotted the camera equipment. But of course, as soon as we drove past, they got the number of the car and traced me very quickly, about half an hour, and turned up at my house asking what was going on.
We were just interviewing a musician. We're doing a special on music.
We're not nervous.
Just the cameraman and myself? Okay, so we'll come in half an hour to the Lisburn Road station and apologize it face to face. Okay. Yeah, we'll have our gear with us. Okay. So see you in half an hour or so. So hang on one second.
British Embassy. Tell me about the British Embassy thing.
Okay, so I'll see you. Bye. It's not, the letter that I have from the British Embassy is not good. You didn't say anything that is incriminating at all, or else we just give Andy one of the tapes.
Yeah.
Why don't we could do that?
As I keep saying, oh, it's really...
If I had my camera, I could capture this on film. Explain it all to someone who doesn't come from where I live. But I don't know how to explain. A country kills its own, 'cause there's money to be made.
What do you wish to happen here in Northern Ireland? What do you want?
Peace in our time.
Peace in our time.
Peace in our,
Peace in our time.
That's a pretty good thing.
It sounds silly, but I think that is what we're really...
If all the people who are making money out of it all f off and let everybody just get on with their lives, you know. I mean, they always say war's good for business, you know. All those people can just piss off and let us get on with it, you know.
It's still a big mess, as you've seen, and we'd like that to end as quickly as possible. There's no easy answers, obviously, but something's got to be done. And not very much is being done at the minute by the government.
What do you wish for?
Well, same thing as everybody wants, and that's at all the end, peacefully. Yeah. And that's the only one way about it. Like, but it's the way it seems now. It's getting worse and better. Then again, it could be getting better. I don't know. I'm stuck in one area.
I think it's got to do with the parents now. Not wait for the younger generation coming up. I can't see it being our generation now coming about. It just has to be the parents teaching the kids. I mean, like, grow up and just respect people for just what they are, and that's it. Give them equal rights, give them justice, you know, that way.
There's an awful feeling of you're being watched all the time, and you know you've seen yourself the surveillance in this town, the level of security. Just to be able to go somewhere without that, and without feeling threatened, that would be ideal.
Not having to worry who you're talking to, what you're talking about, or where you go. To know that you can go anywhere in your own country without having to worry about these things. I think that ideally for me would be as close to peace as what you could possibly get.
If I say to you that I want to remain British, then I'll be looked at as a Protestant. If I say to you I would love a United Ireland, I'll be looked at as a Catholic, and I don't want to be looked at as any of that. So I don't see it that way. You see, I don't see that. The only way forward, in my opinion, is through young people. And one of the ways to do it is through the likes of music in that way. And people have got to feel responsible for it. They can't just say, no, we don't want to get involved in politics while they flick their hair back. You can't do that.
It would be good if our lot could leave a better environment for our children to grow up in. really, so that 30 years from now, we're not just saying, oh, it's 53 years since the Troubles began. I mean, I think that's ludicrous. I think in a civilized, we'll be able to work it out, really.
Every night we see Splasmania.
South go. Eastbound, go. Straight, go. When you want music, got you happy. Go, Fido, go. This is going to be spectacular. John, did you watch that TV lens?
Van Morrison doesn't generally grant interviews, but I think the record company forced him to do it this time because we got this generic television interview. Mind you, I think every other TV station on the planet got it too. But we chopped her down to 3 minutes and 3 seconds so that you could hear what Van Morrison has to say about jazz, spirituality, and his new album, Poetic Champions Compose.
Which sounds to me a little bit like Van Morrison does New Age music.
A lot of people really like this record.
Yeah, but it's no Brown-Eyed Girl, Denise.
Granted.
Standing in the sunlight laughing, got me how the rainbows go. Looking at a slide.
When I started off, I thought I liked the whole sort of jazz instrumental album when I started, but when I did when I did 3 numbers, I thought, no, I don't want to do that. Changed my mind then. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So I started to bring in songs then, because I wanted to sing then. I think I played enough, I want to sing now. So it went on from there.
Trust what I say, and do what you're told. And all your dirt will shine like gold. Let's go into the mystery. Let yourself go.
When I started in music, they used to call it jazz, right? And guys who played jazz used to say, you know, kid, when you play jazz, you never sing the same thing twice. You never play the same thing twice. That's jazz. You know what I mean, kid? So that's where I got into music, was jazz. You know, people told you, man, jazz, you don't sing the same thing. You don't, every time you do it, it's different. That's what jazz is. Got it? And that's where I came into music. I didn't come into music and pop music and all this nonsense. I came in with the jazz people.
Every day it's getting better and better. I want to be daily walking close. It gets stronger when you get the feeling. When you get it down in your soul.
All music is spiritual. I mean, where's it coming from? Is it just a couple of strings on a fretboard, or is it piano wire, or you know, what is it? I mean, it's not just a piece of wood. Of course, all music is spiritual. It couldn't be anything else.
Fergal Sharkey just recently released his debut solo album, produced by Dave Stewart of Eurythmics, which so far has already spawned 1 UK...
About the whole thing, because then once we tried to break out of that, people sort of went, oh, hold on, you know, this is the way they looked and this is how they became successful, they can't change. For me, it was simply, after I left the Undertones, I did make the conscious decision that I did want to change both musically and physically, because I felt there was no point. I wasn't particularly interested, and I had no wish at all to sort of start regurgitating Undertones material or trying to carry it on. And purely on a self-interest basis, I wanted to try and do something different and something that I would find a bit challenging. The physical change, you know, I left Undertones 3 years ago. And for me, it has been quite a natural progression. You know, I didn't, at any point, whether people like to believe so or not, sort of sit down with the pen and paper and draw up a sort of a plan for mass attack on the world. The simple reason being, you know, if I did, then logically I would know the secret of success. And if I really knew, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be, you know, writing the book and making.
Once again, it's festival time in Edinburgh. News of that in a moment.